We're going to open with the redesigned WCW logo. This has received so much criticism over the years. Jeff, what'd you think of that logo?
You know what? I thought it was just fine. I didn't even, it received criticism.
Oh, people hate it, man.
They wanted the old school Crockett.
Just the standard WCW logo,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, man. Look at the names in the open. There's Vampiro, Stinger, David Flair, Crow. So we're recapping. What show is this? This is the pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view where you left with the title. It was the triple cage.
Oh, Kansas City.
The keel, and you threw Kanyon off the top there. Slamboree 2000. And I'll be honest, when I watched this morning, Jeff, what really stuck out to me is, because this whole decision to have Kanyon come off the top of the triple cage has been discussed and debated forever, because people thought it was in poor taste, because this is the same arena where tragically Owen fell. Now, granted, that was 99. This is 2000, but just a year earlier, wrestling fans in the area who went to this show saw someone fall from the ceiling and die. And I've always thought about those fans, but it wasn't until I watched it again this morning that I realized for the first time, I've never thought about how you must have felt, because we've talked about the Owen tragedy before here on the podcast. It's available in the archives, but you're not only in the building, you're a part of the match. What did you think of Kanyon coming off the cage and doing the big bump? Was that in poor taste to you? Did it bother you at the time, or was it just wrestling?
When they laid this out to me, so this is the April pay-per-view of 2000. So probably around,
this is the May pay-per-view, but whatever.
May. Yeah. Because it was 12 months later. So maybe around February, March when they laid it out to me. Again, going back to my no such thing as coincidences, only convergences. Just what are the odds of here we are a year later in the same building, and I'm going to climb, I think it was 62 feet. Last week we were talking about the Q3 band, and Dr. Adair came on and talked all that. Well, Dr. Alex is a partner in the Q3 band, and this is the first time. So Conrad, me preparing to climb up to the cage. Look, say I'm afraid of heights. I don't think that's completely accurate, but I wanted to be in the peak performance. And during this time during my career, that was weighing heavy on me, that I said, I got to get my head right if I'm going to climb up there and perform and do everything with it. So I did a bunch of, the short story is a bunch of emotional work on that. But yes, it was definitely in the forefront of my mind. A year later, there were still all kinds of, I'm sure the lawsuit, I don't know exactly where that, but yes, it was front and center in my mind, Conrad. Look, I wasn't who was I to say? I couldn't make any calls or decisions. And Mike Awesome tossed him off the cage, Kanyon, and I knew Kanyon wanted to take the bump. And so I was worried about having the best possible match I could. And, like you just said, this is in the David Arquette era. Eric and Vince had come back, just the month before. So our ratings, we were getting our ass whooped by WWE, and that was the war, if you will. And it was going and things, the war, as week and week went on, WWE kept going higher and higher and higher. And WCW was going in the wrong direction.
Well, we're starting with this new blood outfit coming out. It's a 45-year-old Eric Bischoff with a head full of gray hair leading the charge in his leather jacket, flanked by Mike Awesome before we've goofed him up with that 70s guy BS. We've got Ernest the Cat Miller. We've got DDP's lovely wife, Kimberly. And we've got David Arquette trying his best to be a heel, but a little too cartoonish, maybe a little too over the top. What'd you think of working with David Arquette in this era? How was he?
Great. Humble, very respectful, engaged. He wanted to do the very best he could. There's a photo that I actually have right out there, right outside my office, right in the bonus room of me, of David on top of the cage with the guitar in hand, and me climbing on one side and DDP climbing on the other. And I just remember the experience working with him and the triple cage. And look, the match, was it perfect? No, but the people in the arena were super with that triple cage. They were involved with it. And was it a train wreck? Yes, it was an absolute train wreck. And the day before, a little footnote, Conrad, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the day before in rehearsals, DDP took a step backward and his right leg went through the hole in the cage when you went from the second or third level, threw him completely out. So he spent the next 18 hours trying to get his back right. But that's the true impetus for DDPY yoga, because he got injured going through this. So anyway, lots of footnotes coming out of this, but I love David to this day. Great dude, good heart. Man, was he thrown right into the God Almighty, thrown right into the a flaming fire in all kinds of ways. WCW, the talent pool, you know, and to put him champion as a little tough pill to swallow for a lot of the traditionalists. So he did his very best. I've got nothing but good things to say about David.
By the way, I should mention DDP said long ago, hey, anybody who has a problem with Arquette winning the title, he was a big wrestling fan, and there's not one wrestling fan who would have done anything differently. Now, I know some people would take issue with that, and they say, oh, no, I wouldn't have been. You have to appreciate he's not just here because he's a wrestling fan. He's here because he's promoting the movie. He's doing what he's asked, you know, to try to help promote the movie, and he is a wrestling fan. So much so that, do you know how much of the income that he made from wrestling he kept himself? $0. He donated it all.
Did he?
He donated every bit of it to the families of some fallen wrestlers who are no longer with us. Wow. So if you're going to be critical of David Arquette, just understand the dude is one of us, and he did his best to take care of everybody involved.
That's a page out of Andy Kaufman.
Isn't that cool?
That is very cool. Didn't know that little trivia note. I'm listening, and you've got me doing this. Watch along, Conrad. I'm watching two different things, and we're actually watching Arquette win the title, a throwback on the in-ring, and Bischoff's leading the charge. What a I'd forgotten a lot of this. Like you said, I watched some of this last night. Mike Awesome came in as a babyface in the ECW story. We'll get to that. Oh, God. Here we go. Tank. There's so much going on, Conrad, in this time. It is a real – it's hard on the brain, wouldn't you say?
There's a lot to talk about here in this era of WCW. And when people talk about the bad of WCW, more than likely they're talking about 2000 and 2001. I mean – I just can't stop staring at Arquette's outfit. I mean, he knew it was heat, and boy, he nailed it.